When we burned this burn towards the moon, I said that we do not leave Earth, but we choose it. And that is true. We will explore, we will build ships, we will visit again. We will construct science outposts, we will drive rovers, we will do radio astronomy, we will found companies, we will bolster industry, we will inspire. But ultimately, we will always choose Earth. We will always choose each other.
The voice of astronaut Christina Koch on the Artemis II mission. Of course, those Artemis II astronauts are headed back to Earth. They're on this record-breaking mission going around the moon. And they've got a busy day today. The 4 astronauts are continuing their research and more as they head back to Earth. The Orion capsule is going to splash down off of California on Friday. Now, over the course of this mission, we've wanted to talk to Canadian astronauts, and at the top of my list is our next guest. It's our pleasure to welcome former astronaut, former Governor General of this country, Julie Payette, is on with us this morning. Madame Payette, welcome to the program.
Hello, Ms. Marcos.
It's great to talk to you here. I want to start off with this because it was a couple weeks back. It was, when launch day, I'm on Twitter, I'm on X, and the algorithm puts a post from you and I say, whoa, she's back. I hit that follow button so quickly. So I see you tweeting since it's, really, I followed you right away and I saw you tweeting on that, launch day, and you've been tweeting since. You're doing interviews. Is it fair to say you're getting back into the public spotlight here? It seems like you were in purgatory for a while.
I would say I post little, but I post when I think it's something that I can share quickly with people. And I was at the launch. I got the pictures from Earth about one of the first one. I think I posted them on X before. Even the New York Times had them on their feed. I think it's so important to share, and I'm still an astronaut, always will be. I am very involved still in aerospace, so whenever there is something happening that I think I can contribute a bit of information, I'm there.
But if we call you up, email you 6 months ago and say, come on the show, do you say yes?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good to know.
Anytime.
Good. So let's get down to business here on space. How do you view this mission? Obviously, you got a Canadian on board, Jeremy Hansen. You part of that tremendous history of Canadian astronauts. How are you feeling about this mission?
Well, this mission has been in the working for a long time. I mean, the crew was assigned 3 years ago. I know them very well, all 4 of them. We're colleagues. We have an association of astronauts, of which I happen to have been elected president last year. So we know each other. We know about the mission. This mission is particularly important because we flew a first one without anybody on board. Almost the exact replica of this mission. The next step was to put real people, humans, on board to test the system, the life support, to evaluate the operations, the procedure, so that the next mission we can do a full dress rehearsal to what we're really aiming for, which is Artemis IV, which will be a landing on the moon again, more than 50 years after Apollo 17.
Yeah. And it's been such a large gap since we put people on the surface of the moon. What do you feel about the leadership at NASA now? There's been some changes. Jared Isaacman seemed like there's a renewed focus and a plan. Moon now, then Mars, that kind of stuff. How do you view the current strategy?
Well, at the moment, the Artemis program was already very well set up, and most people don't hear about this because we are hearing about the astronaut and the incredible lunar science that they're doing and the views. But the service module that is attached to their capsule integrity, which is an Orion capsule, is made by the European Space Agency. We have a Canadian on board. We have our astronaut Jenny Gibbons, who is at the Capcom station at Mission Control in Houston, Texas. So it is more than just a one nation program. It really is a collaboration, and I think this is very much because we've had this kind of collaboration for a long time. I don't know if you realize, Mr. Marcos, but we have had the International Space Station up in orbit for more than 25 years, with people continuously on board from different nations, Russians, American, Japanese, European, Canadians, and other nations. And we never talk about a bad thing happening, because in a quarter of a century, we actually got along and got things done.
Are you envious of this current crop of astronauts that are going to get to do things that we've all been pining for 5 decades?
I think if you ask that question to someone like an Olympian who's retired, or a hockey player who's retired, you always want to be part of the team. But eventually your time has come to do a support role and to let the new generation take in. And that's exactly where I am. And I'm right in the middle of it, but with my feet on the ground at the moment.
Tell me about the camaraderie that you have with your fellow astronauts. And as you talk about what's happening right now, tell me about that, how that works out for everyone that has that bond of spaceflight.
When you spend years, months in a crammed space, in a simulator, in a trainer in Houston, because that's where we trained for our mission. We don't train in Florida, where we launched the vehicles. You learn to work together as a team. You learn to perceive every other move. So by the time you are doing the mission, you actually are like, there's a huge brotherhood, sisterhood amongst us. We all know each other. We don't look very much eventually to where you're from, what you look like, what language you spoke when you were a kid. We look at the competence and the ability of everyone to contribute to the mission and to the team. Great.
Madame Payette, before I let you go, I know there's a book coming out on the history of Governor Generals of Canada. You're obviously part of that book, and you've got some things to say about your time as Governor General and how all that ended. Is it fair to say that in the coming months, we'll hear more from you on that subject and your time and the treatment that you received at the end?
I'm a soldier and I am a Canadian astronaut. I've always served my country and I will continue to do that. And sometimes it might not be fair, and it isn't, but I continue. And I will continue to serve, sir.
I tell you, the way your fellow astronauts talk about you says a lot about you and as a person. And please come back on the show, okay? If you want to discuss that side of things further, okay?
Thank you. And can I show something on the video that I think you'll post, because of course we're on the radio.
Yeah.
But I'd like to show why this mission was so exciting. And I got my props, and they're kind of funny. So this is the moon.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's brilliant. It's missing all the meteor craters. And this is an Apollo capsule, of course, not to scale. When Apollo flew near the moon in the late 60s and 70s, it was passing by very, very close to the moon. They were about 110 kilometers away from the surface because they were going to land. Artemis II flew a lot further than the moon, 6,500 kilometers. And because of that, it saw the entire geology, texture, and surface of the moon. And we have learned so much. We had really extraordinary description of the geology of the moon, which will prepare for moon landing.
Madame Payette, I've screen capped that. I'll share it with our listeners later on this afternoon. Come back. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Au revoir. Goodbye.
That's a former astronaut, former Governor General of Canada, Julie Payette.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll.
I'm coming to get you.
One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio.
I'm coming back to you.
Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.